Today's event is focused around check-related questions, like how much is my check, how much can I expect my check to be, should my check be different, how do I maximize my check, how do I keep my check, those types of questions that we have. So this first question was sent in by Ruben, and it's really based around what determines my check amount. He says, I'm 25. I get $900 a month because of schizophrenia. I haven't worked much in my life, but I received $18,000 in back pay, of which a blankety blank lawyer stole $6,000 from me of it. So that means he ended up with 12. And I'm not sure why some people get checks that are more than mine. Few things here. First of all, when you go through the disability approval process, in order for an attorney or a non-attorney to get paid, you need to sign an agreement that you should be aware of, which is a pretty standard agreement in the disability world, where 25% of back benefits can be paid to a representative, up to $6,000 for the work that they do. So although it may feel like they stole it, just be aware of any agreements that you sign that you know what the deal is. Because if Social Security paid it, they approved it, and you signed it. So here's the deal with check amounts. This individual has a check amount of $900. The average Social Security disability check that the 8+ million people that are out there receiving disability benefits, the average of all that is around $1,100 a month. And the high end of those checks can be around $2,600. And what determines the check amount is your work history, like how much you've worked, mostly over it's a combination over your lifetime, but the last 10 years prior to stopping work has a major impact on your check amount. And it's not just working, folks. You've got to pay your taxes. So if you have a traditional job and you are working, getting paid, and your taxes are taken out, the higher that income is, the higher your disability check is. So if you're a $50,000 a year income earner, your check is going to be higher than somebody that is working and earning $25,000 a year. So that's what determines your check amount. It's not a lottery. It's not, any other, well, it's a more complicated formula, but that's the general concept. So another question from Karen is, can one increase their disability benefits? I heard that it's not possible. Well, Karen, you are right. With your disability benefits, again, it's based on your work history and how much you paid in and what your disability check amount is. So if you're receiving like Ruben's amount of $900, that's pretty much what he's going to be locked into, with the exception of some cost of living adjustments, the COLA increase. He's on and going to be living on that. So it's important for you to pay attention to the tips here that we'll give you so you can stretch your check. So no, you can't. It's not possible to increase it. Just a heads up on this, though, where some people actually leave money on the table when they go through the disability approval process is they wait to apply for their disability benefits. And what happens when you wait is, if you wait a full year and then apply, like you have 1 full year of zero earnings, and that zero earnings is averaged into your Social Security earnings record and brings down your amount. So if you wait 2 years, 24 months, 2 years of zeros reduces your check even more. So if you don't believe you can go back to work and you're just procrastinating or whatever the reason is, you should take action pretty quick, because your lifetime disability income is going to be determined on that amount here. So that's another tip for you. Next area of check-related questions is for back pay. This question is from Christy. And it's as a result of watching a video to how to kind of pinpoint or estimate your back pay. And what back pay is the lump sum that you receive for back pay when you get approved for your disability. So Christy writes, mine says 0.00 for back pay in my award letter. Does this mean that they're still calculating it? Since I'm getting both SSDI and SSI, they already said that my monthly payment would be around $1,200 for SSDI. So my hunch is this, that there is no back pay, and that's why it says 0.00. If there was back pay, it would give a specific amount. So an example of how you would receive no back pay is if you got approved within 5 months of the date that Social Security found you disabled. And here's why. There's a 5-month elimination period or waiting period, if you will, where there is no back benefits that accumulate. So at the time of this recording, this is July, so I'll use a real life example saying August, September, October, November, December. So through December, if somebody applied right now, and if they got approved between now and December, and their date of disability was like right now, today, like they had a pretty significant event, heart attack, stroke, and boom, they had to stop working. They were disabled right at that time. So approved before December, then there would be no back benefits, and that's likely the example. Now, if they were approved January, February, March, like that's when those back benefits start to accrue. Okay. On that note, a tip is to maximize your back pay is to make sure, if you're doing this on your own or doing this with a representative, that you clearly articulate what they call onset date is, your date of disability. Some people put in when they stopped working, although Social Security asks them, in the application process, when did you stop working because of your disability? So it's important to understand that maybe you've had intermittent work experiences, for example, throughout the last year. And I'll use the current example, the example that I just did. Somebody had this heart attack. Well, maybe they had other issues where they had complications with their heart over the last 12 months. And over the last 12 months, they've only been able to work 2 or 3 months, and it wasn't in a row. So their date of disability, their onset date, would be actually back 12 months. It wouldn't be effective on this date. So when you go and apply, you want to make sure that you capitalize on that so you can go back and get all of those prior months of benefits and the money that you are owed compensation for not being able to work. Okay. Next area of questions I received this week, and this wasn't questions, this was 2 actual examples of individuals that have lost their benefits that we're working with to help them get them back. I don't know if we're going to be able to, but their situation were both identical. They had discontinued their treatment. One had been on benefits for 10 years, the other one had been on benefits for 7 years. One was 49 and one was in their 30s. So here's a few tips for you. There's a lot more information that we have on this, but I'll give you the short story so you can keep your check. One is read your Social Security Disability Award letter. Understand the rules. This is my hunch. A lot of people get their letter. It says right across the top, you are approved for Social Security disability. They go into full-on celebration mode. They tuck that thing into some drawer if they save it at all, and they don't pay any attention to it. They think they're set. Maybe they are. But right now, about 10% of disability recipients annually are getting reviewed. And I went through those statistics just a couple weeks ago in one of these events. So 10%, and that number is going up. So I don't want to freak people out, but the statistics tell us that people are getting reviewed and more are getting reviewed. So you need to make sure that you can protect your income. And simple thing again is read your award letter, understand the rules of the game. A few key things to look for in there are when you would possibly be reviewed again. Sometimes it's a year, 3 years, 5 years. Some people it's never, right? So understand when you could possibly be reviewed. And in the award letter, it says things like if you work, what you should do about advising Social Security. You can work, earn up to $880 a month, and totally keep your benefits. That's not an issue. But if you work and make like 20 grand a year and you forget to tell Social Security, that's a problem. Where this week's example of issues came into play is both of these individuals didn't manage their doctor relationship properly. One flat out stopped going to the doctors because it wasn't convenient, and when you're approved for disability you have access to Medicare, which is a great treatment plan. So there's really lots of options that you can do that. So you need to stay in treatment because the rules of the game are this. You have conditions, they're being treated. The conditions still are causing limitations on you so that you're not able to, as a general rule, do any work or the work that you've done in the past. And so you qualify for disability benefits. So if you get approved for disability and you're not following the rules, you're not going through treatment, and Social Security can look at that and say, well, if you were going to treatment, geez, you probably could work. So you were not. So that's one of the situations. The other one, second one, was similar to this in that the individual went to a holistic treatment approach, apparently did advise the doctor, but from my understanding it wasn't communicated into the doctor's notes. So there's courses here that teach you how to communicate to your doctor, how to communicate changes in your treatment. If you do something like this, like go from a traditional treatment plan to something that's holistic and your doctor is aware of it and in favor of it, then that can still qualify and can still be helpful for you in keeping your or getting your benefits. Then the other thing is the limitations weren't kept up. So you need to really, I encourage people to behave, and once you're receiving benefits, in the same way that you were as you were going through. And it's not a lot of work. It's actually very easy to do. Just follow the lessons that we provide you, and how to talk to your doctors, how to communicate your limitations every time you go in to the doctors, so that they are put in your medical records. So when Social Security pulls your medical records, they'll see that you can't sit, stand, bend, stoop, squat, all that stuff, right? And you can't work. Got it? All right. Last thing is on that is be the best that you can be with the Medicare plans that are out there. That you can get access to shopping credits where you can get vitamins. You can get all kinds of extra things that you can use, that you can do from a drugstore to help you improve your conditions. Supplements, that's the other word I was looking for. Vitamins and supplements. You can also get, and this is all no charge with these Medicare Advantage plans, you can also get a free gym membership. And more people are taking advantage of these free gym memberships through the Silver Sneaker program with a Medicare plan so that they can go in and do some light exercise or whatever it is they can do. But water therapy is becoming really popular. You go in, you get into a pool, and it just makes you feel better if you have or experiencing chronic pain. So if that's applicable for you, take advantage of those. And then, you know, it's apparent, and then you want to report that back to your doctor. Say, listen, you know, in addition to what you're doing to me, doing with me, what I'm doing on my own is I'm taking vitamins, I'm taking supplements, I'm going for water treatment 3 times a week down at the local YMCA. And you want to tell your doctor that, you want to write it down and hand it to them, and make sure that it goes into your file. Those are some tips. Just the last thing, not so much, well, I guess it has to do with getting your disability check, is I just released earlier today on our YouTube station a new theory with some data and example that supports that the disability approval times or the disability hearing times are getting shorter. Been doing this for 14 years. This is really the only time I've seen this happen like this, but they're getting pretty significantly shorter. So you can go out to our YouTube channel, you can check that out today, and I don't expect this is going to last long. Others in the industry feel that it's because the economy is strong and the number of disability applicants has reduced because more people are finding work to do because there's a lot of work. When the economy gets difficult, then more people apply for disability. It chokes the system. Hearing backlogs go. So that's what's going on out there. Anyway, listen, that concludes today's program. I thank you for your questions and your contributions. I enjoy it. I hope you provide value in this. And if you are a member here, thank you for being a member of the Disability Digest. And if you have questions, need resources, anything at all, you can just look down below this on Facebook, on YouTube, and there will be a way for you to get some assistance, or you can text us at 484848, and we'll do the best we can to help you out. If you're not a member here at the Disability Digest, come on over, check us out. We provide a free membership to help you get and or maximize your disability benefits. You get programming like this, and then individual kind of customized lessons for what your area of interest is. All right.